AI for writing is a real shift in how we as leaders work, not only because it makes drafting faster, I know that's the most obvious use case, but because it attacks the biggest bottlenecks that we have, blank page syndrome on the one hand, and the messy translation from our thinking into clear language under time pressure on the other. And when we use it well, AI becomes an amazing and always available first drafter, an editor, and a rewriter. And as long as we can express our core idea in just a few bullets, AI can usually turn it into a clean one-page message and then reshape that same content for different audiences without having to start over. And it makes sense that it's good at writing because at the end of the day, these are language models. They were trained on huge amount of text and they learned the patterns of clarity. How do strong openings work? How do arguments flow? How do summaries land? And what would a clear decision, risks, and next steps section of a strategic document look like? The trade-off is that it doesn't actually know your context in the way that you do. So it can sound polished while being wrong or sometimes overly generic. And that's why the right mental model for using AI in writing is to accelerate the writing, but not outsource the thinking and judgment. In practice, you'll experience AI writing in three categories of tools. First of all, you're going to have your core AI platforms like ChatGPT or Claude. This is really the most flexible environment for outlining, for drafting, for rewriting, and for creating multiple versions quickly. Second, you have embedded assistants inside documents like Copilot in Word or Gemini in Docs. The advantage here is convenience. The AI is sitting right on the document. That makes iteration very frictionless. And third are dedicated writing workspaces. So we have, for example, ChatGPT Canvas, Gemini Canvas, or Claude Artifacts. And they open a separate workspace where you and the model can refine the content side by side, more like a document editor than just a chat. Generally, a good workflow to use AI as a writing assistant is to first set the target. So who is your audience? What is the purpose? What is the tone? What is the length? Provide some raw material. These could be bullets, notes, prior emails, or a paragraph that you're responding to. The output, so asking, for example, for a 200-word update with a clear ask and next steps. And then iterate with direct edits, like shorten this by 30%, or sharpen the opening, or add a section on risks, or remove the jargon, make this more direct. And then finalize like the leader that you are, right? So verifying the facts, restoring your own voice, and approving only what you really stand behind. It's also very helpful to provide cues as to what good writing looks like, right? In AI platforms like ChatGPT, this could be write like me based on your existing context and content, or you can ask it to write in the style of, let's say, Harvard Business Review, or Monocle Magazine, or a specific author you like. To work with AI as a thought partner, it's really important to put this line in your prompt. First of all, do not act facts. And if anything is missing, flag it as a question, right? Because that's what a good editor would do. We also need to acknowledge that AI writing often leaves fingerprints. These are the things that makes the output feel very AI-ish, and worse, a lot less credible. Common ones include the overuse of M dashes, right? We've seen them everywhere. Template contrast, like it's not this, it's that. Overly balanced hedging, and inflated filler language. There's a great Wikipedia article called Science of AI Writing, which can act as a great checklist against these. So, bottom line, AI for writing can be amazing. You just want to make sure you use the AI to get momentum, to compress your writing cycles, but to always make sure to keep your quality controls very tight, especially on things like facts, implications, and your tone.